who's going to be having their journey cut short.
Yes, indeed. Straight into the pistol here, folks. Looking good. Excited to see, indeed, how it ends up panning out. Beginning, though, with a little bit of utility in from Spudwrecker, but mostly armor on that T side. Again, something I think a lot of teams within EU just charge up ramp, pick up a molly, and go for a play along those lines. But here, Rooster are just taking their time, have a little bit of an execute setup. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, there's actually quite a lot of utility for that Vertex squad, including the kit. So we'll see. It looks like we're going to see our first battle as the walk around the corner comes in, but Danger easily able to pick up Peasy. Exactly what he was waiting for.
Yeah, and a pick has, of course, come true. A little bit of damage there on the Apoc Dud as well. So not an ideal start for Vertex as the B push commences, rather. But they do still have a couple of players, I was going to say, in position. Counter flashes are strong. It's eventually going to be returns again, though, from those Glocks, as the numbers are just not able to be taken in favor of Vertex. They're just trying to fight in from behind. And, well, they've done, again, a decent job at snatching under a headshot. Addict gets one, and, well, now he's left alone. Never mind. Has lost all of his teammates. They know his position, obviously, and he's going to struggle unless they maybe give him a few chances. But, well, even as the peaks come true, it's Chelios who finds himself the headshot. Looking at the stats, Chelios seems to be the man who kind of stands out a little bit for this Rooster side, so I'm excited to see what he's going to bring for us.
Yeah, certainly. I think getting started early as well is always nice. So we did tout this one as being probably the closer of the first two maps. You would expect anyway, just because of the way the statistics go. But Rooster, I think, clearly going to have a game plan here. They definitely did there in the pistol, and it goes very, very well for them. So hopefully going to continue that trend, as the buy here from the CT side is not too fantastic, but they are, as you would expect on Vertigo, a little bit more heavily stacked towards this A-bomb site. So very ready for the approach from Rooster, that's for sure.
Ooh. Easy, gonna catch himself a kill. I didn't quite catch that one, unfortunately. I was working on trying to fix my X-ray, but it's refusing to cooperate with me currently, Scriv. But Rooster, suffering a casualty. They've gone very, very heavy onto the young Galils here, ensuring they have the nades, which is kind of understandable on Vertigo when you're trying to move towards A. Well, Danny G is making it work. He's already got himself two. Rice at least escapes from the bomb site itself with the use of that smoke. And he does have a teammate up closer who can still help him out, and, well, maybe things could get a little bit awkward here. A kill or two, I think, would be a decent find. But unfortunately now, as the bomb's planted without that kit, and, well, as they continue to lose their players, there's just not much that they can do about winning the round itself. Addict left alone, and honestly, with a Deagle and armor, I think he may want to just consider backing away and giving himself something small to work with in this next round, because it is just going to be the full eco for Vertex.
We'll see here if Addict can maybe find an exit. Not looking to be the case, though, as they are backing away. Okay, never mind. Okay. I thought they were backing up, but they end up walking straight into his crosshair, not once, but twice. Ah, the weapon flies off the map. Might be able to get the Galil here. Oh. Nah, not quite enough time. That's annoying for sure. Yeah, it would have just been a potential, you know, more damage, but obviously, like you said, they're on the full eco here, so the round itself probably not going to happen.
Yeah, we weren't expecting a ton there even in the end, though, so the 2 extra kills, pretty solid find. Obviously, it was heavy on Galils from Rooster, so it's not like they had SMGs building up bank or anything. They had gone just in towards the rifles, and, well, have decided to upgrade a couple of them now, even in the cases where they did lose the players, of course. So just trying to pretty much play it for the long run. They'll hope to hopefully not lose too many players in this one, and, well, with a single Deagle and a flash here, Vertex are hoping to just use their numbers to overwhelm a couple of players. Well, they could definitely still be given some chances. So far, though, not really a lot being rushed into. It looks like most of the attention as well is going to be put over towards B. So I don't think much is really going to be found here. Rooster should realize pretty soon that they've got an open bomb site for the taking. I believe Vertex, though, have chose a pretty good time into peek in and realize there's no one around the A ramp. So they might be able to set up for a few exits.
Yeah, definitely a chance, right? But the round itself just not going to happen. Simple stuff at the moment for Rooster. We'll see moving into this first rifle round coming up shortly what Vertex have got for us, but at the moment, all about Rooster. Oh, nice damage through the smoke. Is he going to be left low? They're setting up for this flash play, right? And Rooster trying to be a little bit annoying. Danger does get caught off of everything. They're all around him. And Addict on the Deagle is not bad at all. So maybe keep an eye out for that one as he finds not 1 but 2 kills once again. Nonetheless, the 3-0 comes through Rooster pretty cleanly, you know, not really having to deal very difficultly here with these early rounds. So pretty solid stuff, I would say, so far from Rooster.
Yeah, we weren't expecting a lot of the eco and stuff to come true, to be fair. So Rooster taking smooth sailing in the opening few rounds as he'd want to, but now we have to see, obviously, if they can keep that up going in towards the gun round. And well, they've definitely got a good shot at doing so. You can see a lack in terms of the helmets. They've gone heavy instead on the nades here on the CT side. Shouldn't really be an issue since it's all AKs either way, but it does just show you, obviously, Vertex have just about scraped this full bite together. See if they can get themselves on the board early on. And well, a creep through the stairs smoke here. There was no aggression actually put through from Vertex. So Rooster just going to take themselves this control with pretty much all of the players. I think they are looking to move pretty quickly. Addict is going to find this out in just a couple of seconds.
Nice angle to find that first. Able to flash in, call for some support here as well. Looking pretty solid, in fact. Oh no, they're still going in here as well. There's so many bodies here. Vertigo manages to find another. A missed shot from Addict, but should have been a kill, right? He's still got this backup that's in. A little awkward for him as he's Molotov'd out. Somehow still alive, though. Has lost brace, and now it becomes a little problematic. Apoc good looking a little worse for wear as well. So it's not impossible, you know, for the T side. Danny G takes out Addict. The nade going in. Not able to make it round the corner. It looked dangerous for just a second. PZ doesn't really care about the low HPs, but Danny G oversteps ever so slightly. It sets up Chelios now into the 1 versus 1. Apoc Dud with no kit available. Needs to try and fake things out here. Not a chance for him. The bomb, broken spray downs from both. He will get it, but I don't know whether he's got time on this bomb, you know. It's going to be awfully close. I think just about, but all the same, goodness gracious me. Comes so much closer than it ever should have done in that round.
I mean, let's be honest, kind of goes the way that it shouldn't have. That honestly looked like it was meant to be the kill for the man on the stairs. A bit of a whiffed spray, though, ends up costing them it. And as you said, even another few seconds probably would have won it out right there. Had to take the initial peek, wasn't sure if he was on the defuse, but the committal to the spray, unfortunately, is what costs him in the end. But it might come back to work in their favor. Obviously, only a single player managed to actually survive for Vertex. Rooster, on the other hand, with the bomb going down, they can still get a pretty solid buy here, even if it's with a few Galils in there to kind of supplement it. But it's decent. They have a chance to win this one. Suddenly, Vertex's economy is broken, and, well, it looks like we're going to find some quick action anyway. Danny G right up the ramp does bypass the man in towards the scaffold, and instead on the hunt for PZ. And, well, with great damage already done, he eventually gets himself that first blood, but he doesn't expect more aggression. As I had said, there was a man around scaffolding.
Yeah. Trading 1 for 1, never ideal for the CT side, but all the same, nice to get it back. It is going to be the B here. Addict here, neutered, no AWP this round, onto the MP9. Very passive B setup, especially with the aggression out towards A. So 4 versus 4 on the retake. I don't know. I think this is going to be tough, to be honest with you. They do have a kit. They've got a good amount of utility to work with, but so late to the action, it just doesn't feel good to me. Chelios on the edge of this smoke as well, holding off the first line of defense. Going to get another one to work with. They will come flying. A couple of kills, only the one available, though, apparently. Nonetheless, the remaining 3 Ts are just set up to play the bomb. Spudwrecker first. In comes the flash and the double spray down from Shipka to secure it. Rooster with a great response in round number 5.
Yeah, we still haven't 100% figured it out or not, whether Shipka's JCG or if they have a sub or whatever, but we'll just go with Shipka for now to make it easier for ourselves. Hopefully, if anyone in the chat actually knows, you can probably let us know. I tried to check through his Steam. He just has no previous names, so that didn't help at all. Usually you can get a good idea of who you're working with in that case. Good record, though. I'm going to say he's looking good. Alongside JCG, I think he was one of the players who's been on this roster for a while. As I said, from what I can tell, they had some pretty hefty roster changes recently, taking 3 players out and 3 in. But pretty solid players, it seems, as well. And now you've got Spudwrecker up there alongside the rest of them, showing a decent performance. It's still early days, but it's what you want, especially here on what is their map to take. And then with Dust 2 coming up next, it's one that I think they could still definitely give a challenge on for sure. here we go. Chelios will find some heads coming around the corner. Doesn't want to stick too close and risk losing his weapon, but he does have some assistance, and with that, we'll just be allowed to fall back off rather. So ramp control, it's pretty slow. Things are fairly standard, although I'm liking this boost. We'll see what comes from it rather. It is the CZ, so not the ideal weapon really. He makes it work.
Okay. Unreasonable always on the CZ.
My first one would have hit and then the rest would have missed.
Yeah, usually
after the dink.
Yeah, it's a rough weapon to work with, isn't it? Danny G looking good on the entries here though. Cleaning up house. Oh, the USP jumping the gun a little bit early there. Ruffleco trying to go through. Might actually be able to get the planter. No! Oh! Heartbreak. He fluffs it up with the P250. Addict, the only one left. Maybe an exit, but the round looking good for Rooster. This is pretty convincing stuff. Addict is good on these pistols, you know, but not able to dish out any more damage.
He's just looking crisp in general. To be fair, though, he was picking up the op there, at least in the other round, and a lot of time players who pick up the ops tend to be fairly crisp with that first bullet. So you do see them a lot of the time with the Deeg and such being absolutely nuts. I'm not going to complain if that's what we get throughout this game. 5-1. Vertex do need to start getting a move on if they want to get themselves into a position really to salvage just towards a decent CT side. 6 rounds at least I think they'll be aiming for, and you've got the double op setup coming out. PZ I believe is their primary upper, but Addict is also going to be pulling it through, and well, look at Apoc, dude, he's going mad straight through the Molotov. He doesn't realize there's a player up close behind the sandbags, or at least not 100%, but he is being cautious. It's a jump shot from Danny G. Why would you do that to him? Gravity can't hold him down despite the G in his name.
Ah, mate, illegal plays, goodness me. Up on high, Brace is able to trade it out though. Danny G will take him down, securing control of this A-bomb site, or so they think. Still the AWP, of course, in the form of PZ out towards Ivy position. Oh, did he see the shadow? Someone's got to have called it, yeah, because he turned around. Someone must have said, yo, you saw him. Danny G, though, pushing forwards, continuing to dish out the damage, looking for the ace. Oh my goodness, stall onto PZ, just going to take the bomb towards the B-bomb site instead. And, yeah, that might just be that, because Danny G is in behind here looking to ruin his day. Cut off the rotation. Should be able to guess the right side. Even then, I just think PZ will be holding to try and survive. Getting the round itself, very difficult unless he gets this kill for free, but he can't even get up the quick scope. Danny G with the ace. First one of the day comes quite early, and it comes for Rooster, the somewhat underdog of this matchup, looking really good right now.
Yeah, that was, I mean, crazy on the first one with the jump shot, but other than that, it was just pretty much crisp throughout. Great work from Danny, sitting up on 13 frags already as we head into round number 8. He's given a good example to the rest of his teammates here, firing everyone up. As we said, if they can get this win, Dust 2 certainly is one that they could potentially take away. It looks like Vertex have at least been working on it, considering they're willing to pick it through, but it could still be a risky one for sure. Dust 2 in general is just pretty volatile and can be a bit of a risky pick. I do like the bait and switch setup there. It works out for 1 and a second for Ruffleco actually before he goes down. Shipka now just needs to ensure that he doesn't end up losing the bomb, and well, Addict decides not to actually go forward. They look to just try and keep that advantage instead. And while despite actually losing the advantage in terms of the numbers there with Apoc dud going down, I think they can still be pretty happy with the damage that was done. A decent 3-on-3 to play out.
Yeah, Mr. Addict still alive as well, so anything is possible. We've got the HP advantage. I don't know, I'd like to see a Deagle round 1, but always easier said than actually done, so. Rooster with the weaponry, with the utility, surely you still expect them to find their way through. They do need to be careful, right? This is where it's like, we might win the engagement, but there's a chance that someone's left low or gets caught off. Well, Danny G, he was left low from an earlier engagement. He gets punished big time, but the creep in coming through, I think, with the jump scare for sure. PZ trying to cut them off, but the second player will take him down. It's all going to be onto Brace. Tries to get ahead of the smoke, but not quite fast enough, and now stuck for ideas. I'm going to try and make it towards bridge, but it's smoked off as well. So, and they're set up pretty well here, actually, to deal with the push through. make sure there ain't going to be no funny business. So, Brace has gone. Cool. I respect it, guys. Gonna go and retrieve an AK. Might move in. I think this is the now or never kind of time, and actually going to go for never and save the AK into the next round. So, not the end of the world, I think, here for Vertex. They can be happy with the damage that they've done, keeping the economy, as you can see, apart from Danny G, it will be relatively low for a couple of these players. So, Rooster have got to be careful with how they approach this next rifle round.
Yeah, I believe we've just had a confirmation from chat that Shipkit is... This is how it's put. Shipkit is Shipkit. So,
right.
He is, I believe, just a sub coming in. To be fair, one of the players typed that in the beginning. They said something about a sub, but we weren't sure if they could just be trying to troll us, you know?
Yeah,
so, we wanted to be safe because they said it in a trolly way. I think exactly what they said was, if you lose with a sub, that'd be really sad. But it was something along those lines. 7-1 though, Rooster. They're doing pretty well considering that sub is in at the moment. Fantastic start on the T side. They'll look to keep it up, and well, you can see Vertex, they want to stop them. They're going back to this trusty double up setup that honestly has given them some early success. They just haven't been able to close out on those rounds. And well, that is trouble for Brace. He braces himself as the volley comes in and nades on top of it. Followed up by spams are going to put the advantage in favor of Rooster early on. And despite some great damage being traded back, Vertex, I don't think are going to be quite aware of how much they've done.
Yeah, I saw that right click come in from Brace, and I was like, that's too far forward, bro. Like, that's not going to douse the flames. And that's exactly what happened. Then he was pushed out into the open awkwardly, as well as naded out. APOC dud. Holding up close and personal. Love this angle. It always results in crazy kind of action. Unfortunately, going to be in favor of Rooster. The flash was a little ineffective, but it's the double up again that is paying dividends. Peasy in from Ivy with the double. Not the only AWP, of course, to get a frag in this round. 3 versus 2 as Peasy will push forwards to try and contain them. Pull off a flank maybe a little later on in the round. The bomb plant is going to come in. They're unsure of whether both players are coming through from this same angle. Shipka's crept in towards Ivy. Could get the drop on Peasy if he's fast enough. Doesn't matter as Spudrek has got it. Surely the trade's got to come through, though. The tag from the AWP. The finish off through the wall by Addict. And up high. He will get his 3K. All the kills coming in for the AWPs. Can see how important that double up setup is to play. The first round, double up setup. The second round, double up setup, right? So they definitely need it here on the Vertex side.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be really effective for them, especially in the hands of Addict. He's been doing a great job initially over on B with it, and then once he rotates over there towards the A bomb site. Only thing is, it's a pretty hefty investment, so instantly if you want to be keeping it in play and having enough to repurchase them when they're dropped. So they do need to start taking a few rounds back-to-back here. And, well, one more actually would leave Rooster on an eco, most likely. It definitely wouldn't be left with a very strong economy. So it's a chance for them to take some good control. And PZ straight down ramp does take a peek. It's been attempted a couple of times from Vertex, but I think this is the first time we've actually seen them find that opening kill off the back of this. So pretty good find. That'll slow things down, definitely on the Rooster side of things. It does seem like they're still ready to move in for this ramp control. And, well, Vertex aren't challenging too heavy, considering they already have the man advantage. I think they are rocking a boost again, though, hoping to just kind of extend that advantage.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way. Danny G going to catch the boost, though, it looks like. Nasty stuff. Will eat a nade for his trouble, but we're here in a 4 versus 4 in a vulnerable A bomb site. Never good. Never good at all. Rooster looking to pump into this A site once again. Peasy, though, on this AWP, been looking pretty comfortable with it in the past couple of rounds. Nice little Molotov, nice nade to follow up. Good God, that's some great damage. A lot of it unconfirmed, of course, but we've got 2 players on 30 HP for Rooster, and now the A hit, they're probably like, I kind of don't really want to go, guys, but I guess we have to. Peasy at the back of the site, not going to be smoked off, able to find one. Flashing in his teammate here as well to go for the peak. The bomb plant not quite happening yet, and APOC Duddy's pretty close to the action. Definitely could deny it away. The Addict through the smoke, finding himself a frag, coming close to the player and on the site. APOC Dud able to sacrifice himself and is now all onto Chelios in a 1 versus 3. They've got a kit available. Definitely could go for the hold here. The AWP on high will go a little bit early, though, allowing him to isolate the 1v1s. Up against Addict now. Low HP does not matter. Oh, the AK out for Addict, and he's able to get it done. The panicked spray from Chelios will cost him the round. Close as you like, but Vertex stringing a couple together here to find 3.
Yeah, again, they don't really want to. They don't really manage to take these convincingly, and they want to keep us on the edge of our seat. The problem is now this time they only live with one player standing. That double up setup, if they want to get it back in, will cost them everything. And even then, I don't know if they can quite afford the second one to come back into play again. I do believe they've been forced onto the rifle. In the case of Addict, he dropped it over to, I believe, PZ. You can double check that in a second anyway once we get the things back up, and indeed that is the case. So at least they've got decent nades and such behind it. But again, that double up setup has been so impactful for them, especially Addict on it. So I am wondering if he's going to be able to keep up that pace now on the M4, or whether PZ, I suppose, is going to be here to pick up a bit of the slack. And well, that's if he gets a chance, because this time no early pick's going to be found around the ramp. Instead, APOC Dud is actually going to go in for a late peek, and this could be awkward. Danny G's boosted up above that smoke. He is, I believe, getting ready to check that exact angle, and well, may have even spotted a little bit there with the jump peak. So I think he's kind of done on this ramp peak. Doesn't want to challenge through anymore. Surprisingly, they're all just moving back. This is a very slow play we're getting on Vertigo, and we've actually been seeing a lot of focus over towards the B side of things. So a little bit of a switch up to what we normally get.
Oh, Chelios, yeah. You can see it happening, can't you? PZ's been holding it all round long. He's not missing those at the moment. Addict meanwhile, wide swing, but no nades. Trade off of information, will lose his life, but he gains one. Oh, at the same time, Ruffleco nearly caught out the open. Spudwrecker not able to pull off the flank, and now it is all onto Danny G. Time for your second ace of the game, I think. That's what he needs anyway to find this round. Oh, missed shot from the orb, but that, of course, is all APOC Dud needed to move. Vertex moving up to 4, and without the bomb plant there, and now with the loss bonus, you know, stacking up a little bit, they might be able to get some pistols, but probably going to be another round for Vertex. Looking good to close the gap here.
Yeah, they've really started to salvage the situation. Even if they're only scraping the rounds together, it gets to a stage where you don't really care anymore. Obviously, you would rather be able to stabilize your own economy, but they've also managed to get to a point now where the buy isn't really there for Rooster to sufficiently fight them, so they should finally be able to start taking things a little bit cleaner for themselves, you'd hope. Nade true, that should do some damage. Player up close on the right. It actually does more than I expected. Chelios, the man who invested into the Krieg, is going to be brought down incredibly low. Ship got also damaged up heavily, and well, this should be pretty straightforward. There's not much to work with. They actually had a backup armor player. That's quite handy. So they do have danger still with the rifle. But I think a couple of kills really will be the maximum they're kind of hoping for here. And even then, they've spent a lot of money into the round, so I don't think I quite love this investment.
Yeah, this is an idea of a bygone era, really. So we'll see. Danger needs to find great success. At the very least, I think a bomb plant to return the investment here. And just contacting into B. Ooh, Addict gonna get spotted. Will be dropped by the Krieg. And only one for Ruffleco. Gotta be careful here now, Brace. Trying to get aggressive, right, to deny the bomb plant away, which seems to be working. He's got the backup. And they are able to hold off all onto Danger. Low HP, not going to get it done. Still, 3 kills found. And when we talk about this double up setup and how important it's been for Vertex within rifle rounds, and now, of course, feeding into a bit of a rifle round, it obviously is going to be a sacrifice for a couple of individuals. But nonetheless, Vertex, probably without the double up setup, I would assume, coming into this round.
Yeah, very likely. I'm seeing only the one anyway here from our aerial POV. Just as a quick note, I know people obviously a little bit annoyed at the moment with the observing issue. Unfortunately, it's just a small issue with the actual GoTV and the server, I believe, communicating with each other. So don't give out to the observer himself. He's still giving it his all. Unfortunately, we just can't see it until it gets fixed. So hopefully we'll be there soon. But Brace, nice little peek in towards the ramp, able to get himself an opening kill. That takes a bit of the pressure off of Vertex. And, well, despite not having the second op this time, Scrib, they do have a couple of AUGs, so they've still brought those scopes in. They've still got the ranged capability. And it's, as I said, giving them a nice chance early on. APOC Dud, though, will he be cleared out from this position? They've put a player in towards sandbags a few times, but with only one molly, will they bother throwing it in?
$1 million question. It could be the oversight that cost them the round, though. Looks like they're not going for it. APOC Dud going to take his swing. Oh, that's a little bit rough. Will eventually get the kill, but surely, yeah, going to be finished off. Slight miscommunication. They get the nade in for the kill. The Molotov follows up as well, which wasn't necessarily required. And all this manpower, as it were, comes down to Shipka and Spudwrecker in a 4 versus 2. Danny G will be happy. He's just unboxed an AK slate for whatever reason. He's a bit bored while he's dead. Nonetheless, the rest of the boys trying to pick up the pieces here. And definitely, I think, making Vertex worry a little bit that this A take is not impossible for the Rooster boys. And I like the reposition from Shipka.
Yeah, running it right back over. Should actually make it before he is able to get here. And as you can see, Spudwrecker still ready to cut off rotations. Catches PZ peeking down the ramp. Suddenly the bomb's going to be planted for the stairs. It could have been risky though as Addict moves in quickly, but they don't make it in time. He just about falls back to safety. Shipka in a strong position now, but it's going to be an incredibly quick retake. They are not waiting this out. The smoke goes down straight away. A spam through. Gap, I believe, even gives Shipka's life away, and well, a spam over the smoke there distracts for Rufflecoat to go ahead and swing as the defuse is going to easily come through. Of course, plenty of time on that clock. Vertex, they continue to come back up to 6 rounds. Again, it's always 2 or 3 players kind of max surviving, but that doesn't matter as long as they're winning out these rounds. And I do believe a bit of time even was given for Rufflecoat to hopefully get to this op. Should have given his teammate the AK first, although I think there's more AKs around, so it shouldn't be an issue. And yeah, you can see Addict's got his own AK, obviously the op just about salvaged as well. So we've got 1 round now in the difference, and I think Rooster are really beginning to worry a little bit.
Yeah, problematic, isn't it? Massively problematic. We do have a tech pause coming in from the Rooster side, but I'm sure this slowdown will be appreciated. Seems like we shouldn't be too long, just sorting a headset kind of thing. Maybe one of them's died, needs plugging in, but nonetheless, Rooster, I think, will be using a bit of this time to, you know, talk things over, just cool off, get their heads back in the game, because, I don't know, stereotypically, it definitely shifts around at the top level of the game, but stereotypically, we do say that Vertigo is a little bit more T-sided, just because of the simplicity of the executes. Not in a massive way. I'm thinking like a 9-6, right? And that's kind of where Rooster want to keep Vertex at the moment. They've already hit the 6 rounds. They end up dropping the lead in this half to an 8-7 finish, then I think Rooster will be kicking themselves after such a great start. They have definitely made some interesting economic decisions in the past few rounds that has kind of cost them in a big, big way. So I am curious. I am very curious as to what the plan's going to be into this one. It looks like they will buy through. Again, I think there's going to be a couple players maybe sacrificing in certain areas.
Yeah, likely to have to be the case. We are getting cameras now, though, for like the little flyovers, so I think that's a good sign for hopefully the technical issues in that regard haven't been issued out. We actually got that's a little bit of help. Finally, a technical issue from the actual players helps us out. Normally, we have to just sit around. I'm liking the aggression, though. This is a big swallow straight in through mid. A 1-for-1 at least going to be available for Rufflecoat, so not a terrible position to come away with, especially since he hasn't really taken too much damage himself. But obviously, a 1-for-1 for the T is they're probably going to be feeling a little bit happier, if anything. The only problem being that pretty much all of their kind of focus is around this ramp right now. They've only got Danger holding to ensure that no sort of aggression comes in elsewhere. So we'll see how this goes down. All of their eggs in one basket, and at the moment, at least, Vertex, they are looking to challenge relatively aggressively. You can see even up close to the smoke right now, Brace he's committed into a point where he's going to have to take this challenge once the smoke actually fades.
Yeah, I was going to say. Smoke comes in so he can keep his spot, and nobody saw him in kind of that half second of, you know, the one smoke dissipating and the new one being deployed. So, pretty slow. It feels like this is our most intense round, as it were, so far. The first half, definitely going to dictate the pace in the final few moments. Danny G gets overlooked at Sandbags, able to find the double kill that will give the 3 versus 2 man advantage across to Rooster. PC on the orb, few too many targets, few too many angles to be watching. He and Addict, the double up setup that's found so much success for them in the past, will have to pull this round back. And that is no mean feat. I think, honestly, they might just look to move away in the next few moments because PZ's smoked out. Ooh, I was going to say, and nobody's giving them a chance into it, but Addict starts pushing forward, says, I don't care. It's not meant to be good for retakes. We're going to get this done. Shipka, though, will find both the heads and deny away the clutch up. Close, very close indeed, but Shipka with the angle gets it done.
Yeah, ironically, it's Shipka who stops it from sinking. Things definitely given away there towards the end, even just to let them into that 2-on-3. As you said, literally the moment you said they're not giving anything to him, they all just start peeking Addict. And we've seen the shots he's been landing, so you can't really be giving him opportunities, it doesn't seem. He will punish you. Thankfully, Shipka also looking just as capable, and well, for what seems to be a stand-in, he's doing a pretty good job. I just realized how top-heavy the scoreboard is. Makes sense considering Danny even had himself that ace at one point, which put him up to, I think it was 13 on round number 9. So he's been building that score up for a little while and has a chance to keep on adding to it. But obviously, things have slowed down overall. They've got themselves at least some control back now and have a chance to salvage themselves the 9 rounds off the back of that clutch. You've still got to worry about some deagles and an MP9, which could cause damage, especially as they're considering aggression. But no, not expecting for already the 2 players to be so close underneath. Both now trapped in behind the wood. The spam comes through with great damage. And despite Waffleco somehow getting away with 1 kill, it's going to be tough for them to do a lot more with this. Brace tries to get up aggressive, but the smoke doesn't bloom in time. And as you would expect, the rifles reign supreme. Rooster, this should be their 9th round unless PZ has something crazy in the bank for us.
That's the kind of round that really shows that CSGO is very much about the timings, right? There was so many little moments there. I think Brace nearly crept in, right? If he was half a second earlier, he gets in at back 90 and he's able to demolish them, but not the way it goes. 9-6 in the end, Rooster. A slow finish there, but they will manage indeed to take the advantage pretty convincingly, but I think Vertex can be happy with the recovery. We'll join you after the break to see how half 2 pans out.
I wonder, will you call me? My mind is going in circles, can't stop thinking of you. When the feeling isn't going, I'm looking for distraction, nothing's getting me through. When you're really under my skin. I don't know where to begin. I wish I could go back to yesterday, underneath the sheets and keep on replaying that night with you, underneath the sheets. Could go back to yesterday, underneath the sheets and keep on replaying that night with you, underneath the sheets.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are here with half number 2, of course. 9-6. The HUD, I think, misleading ever so slightly. Wouldn't that be a weird turn of affairs? But nonetheless, yeah, 9-6 in favor of that Rooster side, getting started into the pistol here as well to give us a good feel of how things are going to go. When it's a scoreline like this, I think it's pretty important to get the pistol under your belt, of course.
Yeah, very much so. We do have our observer now, which is the HUD that no longer wanted to cooperate. The issues of tech, just tech in general. It's never going to want to cooperate. Fiddling to be done, but here we go. Good start. And the Shipkit as well being the man who's taken out early on. He's been very impactful for Rooster in terms of the frags so far, despite not being, I believe, one of the initial 5 men of the roster. But you can see the pressure now on for them to aggress and take back something in the early moments of this round. And well, Chelios, he kind of gets away a bit lucky there, I'm going to be honest, to actually live. Didn't have Kevlar either on him, so backs off, doesn't want to remain aggressive, and while it's elsewhere now that Rooster need to try and pull back a frag if they want to get themselves into this round. You can see Vertex are very, very happy to slow this one down as well.
Yeah, certainly looking to be the case. Very slow indeed. 50 seconds remain though, and the hit will come through. Chelio's going to find another head and things back up here, but will get taken down pretty sharpish. Not ideal. Danny G, meanwhile, on the backside, cuts off one of the flanks, so a bit problematic for the Vertex side. And can I only have the one direction to go? Need to be wary of this player on the backside. It looks like Brace is indeed holding for it as the smokes dissipate. Brace will find his kill. Roffelko, though, at the front here, alongside the generator, looking to try and get aggressive. Decoy comes over the top to make things out. There's the peak from Roffelko, and that's what he was waiting for. The 2K as he gets him in the side of the head for Vertex.
Supposedly we do have the HUD back now. We're watching on our GoTVs anyway, so we can escape some of the technical issues, thankfully, Scriff. Unlike the viewers, unfortunately. But yeah, an important pistol round for Vertex, especially with the little bit of a salvage, I suppose, that the Rooster boys were able to get towards the end of that previous half. I do believe we're having a not live being called. Cool. Yeah, indeed, everyone has gone ahead and called that. No nades have been done, no damage, nothing. So completely within their right there to actually call for a not live if they're having some technical issues or whatever's going on. So we are going to have a couple of moments before we get back into this. Hopefully we can find out soon what the issue is at least. But not ideal. I don't think the boys on Vertex are going to love now having to sit around for a few minutes after winning out their pistol. Maybe I'll give it a little bit of time at least. Okay, well, we know what our issue is there anyway. You can see Shipkill's unfortunately dropped out. Not ideal. Hopefully they don't need a sub for the sub.
That would be a bit weird, wouldn't it? They're already, I think, leaning into having this sub right and playing a little bit looser, a little bit faster, and therefore being less predictable, but never good to have to change things up twice. So we'll be on a bit of a wait. See Brace doing his best rabbit impression. It's pretty good, to be fair.
Just bopping about. Yeah, Spud Wrecker confirmed he just timed out, so hopefully it won't be too long of an issue. Yeah, the boys, they love joking around with each other in the chat from what I've seen so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, this is still one that could go either way. I'm excited to see how Rooster settled in once they can get going on their own CT side. Obviously, it took Vertex quite a while to start getting some rounds for themselves. Did it go, was it 6 or 7-1? I think it may have even went 7-1 at one point.
Yeah,
either way, they did cool off.
Pretty sure it was 7. So yeah, it was a little bit of a nasty kind of turnaround in that sense from Vertex. I think they could be happy, and especially with picking up the pistol now, gives you a good chance to just even things back out almost instantaneously. So
I love it from Danny. Last second of the round, he writes live again. He's like, yeah, it's back live, guys. Last second.
Just a joke, guys. Just a joke.
Yeah. Of course.
Now we're in a bit of a harder pause, so do bear in mind, folks, it's 9-7. Maybe if you are a little bit confused, you looked away from a moment and you thought the game was on pause. So it is indeed properly paused now, and as well in terms of that score, it can take maybe a round, maybe 2 to get things sorted out. So don't want to see no complaints, all right? Just relax and wait, and everything will be back in order. We're being told about a minute before the player joins back up, so we should be back into the action quickly.
Not bad at all. Yeah, as you were saying, once one round is played out, the score will kind of fix itself. Even after the match medic, the 10 will stay up there for the Rooster boys for a moment. It's just the way it works. I don't know why it's always been like that, it seems. Whatever way the servers are formatted. But it's not an issue for that round anyway. Just subtract a 1 from Rooster's number and you'll be good. Kind of like we've subtracted a 1 from their players. He'll be back in a moment as well. But I don't know if they're going to be getting themselves that 10th round for real here. They'll be buying in, I do believe. As you can see, they've got the Eagles and stuff purchased up. I'd imagine they'll probably just go for that again once the reset's done. But it is a bit of a risky one, whether they want to try and snatch this control early on or whether they want to just focus on getting a strong early gun round out. And well, there's all the players back in. I can see everyone typing order, saying they're ready. So any second now, Scriv, we should be back into the action. I feel like I'm with the music, I feel like I'm like listening to like the countdown for a news show or something. Am I the only one with that feeling from it? Same vibe?
Yeah, maybe a little. I mean, you know, we are, you know, it's big stuff. That's what those countdowns are always for, right? They're always designed to make things more exciting than they are, you know, and that's what we want in the timeouts. We want a little bit of intensity added to it. The technical ones can drag on a little bit, but hopefully should be all good. Looks like we're back in, and it looks like everything's fixed pretty quickly actually in terms of the
score's fine as well.
So yeah, back to 9-7. See what the move is here from Rooster. I would imagine a bit of a force buy coming in from them to try and fend off against whatever Vertex are going to throw at them.
So you've got to wonder. Looks like a relatively secure buy. No AKs coming out, but they do go heavy on the Galils with 3 of them, and then tons of nades and a couple of Mac 10s, which can hopefully just build up some bank. That'll be the goal anyway. Bryce will look to, I guess, Bryce's economy. There's Deegs across the board, so you know this can still get pretty dangerous. The only man who doesn't actually fully invest, rather, is going to be Chelios, because he wants to try and get that op out, obviously, as early as possible. We've seen how impactful it was for Vertex on their CT side, and, well, Chelios wants to have a similar showing. Well, we're seeing a very, very slow round from Vertex in general. A lot of nades, so it does make sense. You don't want to just run in and throw away all those nades and such, so you will move pretty methodically through the map. But it will also mean the time, if they don't go a little bit quicker, eventually could get towards a bit of a problem for them. And you're seeing Rooster actually are hanging on to their smokes pretty well so far, trying to conserve them as late as they possibly can. It's not Inferno though, so I don't know how much they'll actually be able to do with those. Not as many choke points. Big old stalemate, Scriv. That's what we're getting.
Yeah. Not too much of anything. I think Vertex realize the position that they're in to even things back up, keep that CT economy a little bit weak headed into the first rifle, etc., etc. And thus they're approaching things very, very slowly. Late smoke coming in from Danger, though. It's kind of what you were touching on. Not as many choke points, but they're headed towards B, where there's one of the few choke points this map has. Danger slammed down a little bit on the edge of the smoke. They're looking to hold them off. There goes the Eagle as he finds himself a couple. They're set up and ready here on the B-bomb as well. The flashes have to be perfect, which so far they are. Bomb plant coming in. No, it has been denied away, and that might just be enough. I don't think there's quite enough time to get it down. They're chasing after Danny G, though, and Addict will take him out. Danny was unsure of how to approach it, unfortunately, and little did he know that the round bomb-wise was over. They stuck around and they pick him up. That's a little too close for comfort, I think, for the T's.
I think he realized that it was too late for the bomb to go down, but I think he thought the player was slightly closer initially as he kind of heard the footsteps, I suppose, coming towards him, so he didn't think he could get his knife out and jump around the corner or whatever to waste a second or so. Figured he'd probably have to take the fight, and unfortunately it just doesn't go his way. I think he'll be kicking himself a little bit there, but you can understand, I think, how that played out in his mind and why it didn't quite go down in the sense he imagined. Wasn't chased closely as he presumed. So speaking of, though, Brace has managed to get himself a pretty good time in there on pushing out mid. There was a trade back, though, from Shipget elsewhere, and I do believe he's going to continue to aggress down that ramp as well, so we'll see whether he can perhaps catch that player with the bomb. Although I think that kill from Brace now is just going to push them in towards him. But Danger's aggressive. If he can get this second kill, that would be full control, but he's not able. Only good for the one, unfortunately, and while it is a bit of damage done towards the economy there of Vertex, it's not going to be giving them much in terms of possibility of winning the round, and it is unfortunate with the low health on the 2 of the players as well.
Still always nice to make sure that players are rebuying. And Danny G's still around. 24 kills, by the way. So that's quite something.
Slowed down big time, but he did have a fantastic first half.
Yeah, and I mean, the issue is as well that I always see with this kind of thing is moving into your CT side. It's a little harder to get that individual working in the same way. I think Vertigo is quite a good map for it, actually, in that sense. But it's still you know, less control that you have as an individual on the CT side. If they go B and wipe your team, then not really much you can do. So we'll see, I guess, moving forwards. He's not able to find anything in the end, and here we are, 9-9, all evened up. But of course, Rooster, with the guns coming out, completely different game. They will hope to regain the lead and regain control of the game.
Yeah, that's got to be the hope. Get back to the winning ways that we've seen from them that looked so good in the early moments of that first half, especially. Obviously, though, now it's Vertex over on the T side. They're the ones who are in control of the pace a little bit, and instead it's Rooster who are having to pull out the double up setup to start trying to get some rounds on the board. Very similar to what Vertex done in that previous half, but well, there was no one watching the push over the scaffolding, and suddenly Danger can't get anything done, caught in behind the metal pole. Bam down despite trying to do what he could and coming away with 1 kill, but not really going to be enough. Although that 1 kill I think is probably going to push them through now. PZ at least able to take taken down rather on mid. There's still nades for that T side, as you can see. Smokes, mollies, flashes, everything that they need in order to actually delay this retake from coming through. They just run down the time on that clock, and there's actually no defuse kit. Rooster need to kill this second, otherwise this isn't really achievable for them, and unfortunately I think that one's going to push them back away. If they don't, I'm surprised that they'd stick around, and indeed, yeah, you can see the save is being called for. And up at an AK, at least they're going to be carried over, but that is a rough one for Rooster. Vertex come out swinging in the opening gun round.
Maybe a little bit more of what we were expecting then moving forwards. You know, into this matchup, Vertex have, as we say, form-wise been looking a little better recently. When they're on that T side, and indeed, control seems to be the name of the game at the moment. And they were all about it in that previous, and not giving anything across to Rooster. So, and it felt like it was over pretty quickly as well, you know. There was not an awful lot of thinking, very instinctive from the Vertex boys, which is always a bit of a worrying sign when that goes so well for you. So, we'll see here. Danny G, you definitely want him on a weapon. And of course, Chelios with the AWP might be able to find some kind of a pick, but it should be good for Vertex.
You can see the swap up in the hold from Rooster as well, actually having to put a player on mid after getting caught completely off guard by the mid push in that previous round. A little bit of a boost for Shipkip. See what can be done though. As you said, there is that AK and up in play. The AK unfortunately not going to be in a position to actually help out on this B hold. I don't think the op is quite yet either. It's going to be on the rotate. Instead, you have Danger and Spudwrecker. And well, the mollies coming over are going to actually clear Danger in this corner, forced into the open, eventually taken out. And Spudwrecker the entire time had just been blinded in behind the bomb site. So easy entry so far coming through from the T side, and well, it doesn't look like it's really going to get all that complicated. Only Shipke and Danny G left standing. And Shipke kind of just charges through. I'm not sure what exactly he was looking for there. Was looking at the ground, expecting the weapon, I suppose, to be retrievable, but you could see there it was a little bit further forward up in the edge of the smoke, I do believe. So unfortunate there on a slight miscommunication. But Danny, he's going to have to fight if he wants to save over this AK now.
Will take an awful lot of work. I think he's more thinking about dishing out some damage. But yeah, they're definitely set up and ready for this one. However, it seems he's kind of slipped under the radar. They are hunting, but not where they think he is. So a little easier than you'd expect to hold on to the AK for Danny G. Yeah, they just kind of think that he's run all the way back, but not going to be the case. Nonetheless, 11-9, looking pretty comfortable. Chelios, I suppose you will be reinvesting into the AWP, but still losing it in the previous round, never ideal. So, but we'll see. It's starting to get a little bit worrying. Sure, indeed, it's only the 2 rounds, but they are as yet to win a round on the CT side. They lose this one, they'll be right back to square one, probably a 13-9, looking down the barrel of 14-9 if they lose this rifle round. So very, very, very important, I think, that they're able to get this.
Yeah, especially with this being their own map choice. Just 2 up next. We said it was an interesting pick from Vertex, but if they're coming off the back of a win like this where they've really taken control, then things definitely would be awkward for Rooster. But, well, Chelios, I don't think this is going to be awkward. He should have himself a nice opportunity soon. Although the timing is awkward indeed, but he spots the leg. Not quite able to land, and while a flash over eventually leads to his demise, 8-Buck Dud comes out on top of that exchange, despite having been the man who was initially spotted. It was Danny, though, unfortunately, who was taken out, so at least Chelios is still in play for now. He gets away with it. It's his teammate instead who suffers the repercussions, I suppose.
pretty slow here from the Vertex side of things. Just setting up on ramp, hoping at the moment that a Rooster player oversteps, but it's definitely not going to happen, especially with them being a man down. 45 seconds left. And Vertex starting to show themselves a little bit. What with the face, what with the utility coming in. Vertigo going to be left low. Chelios on the AWP will drop the bomb, making life very awkward indeed. Spudwrecker goes aggressive, able to get his frag. Looking very, very good here. It's down to Addict and Apoc in 2-on-4. Apoc with the blind spray down, or wild, I should say. Kind of flustered up a little bit. Felt like he could have had that kill. Nonetheless, nade onto Chelios nearly drops him. It is definitely not over just yet. Apoc good, despite being blind, able to take out Shipka. The bomb plant should come through. Danger on the flank, though, will drop Addict, and now it is all on to Apoc. So trying to fight frontally, not going to happen for him. Can he back away? No, he's actually going to take the fight. Great angle, but the spray betrays him, and Rooster will secure number 10.
Yeah, Danger just a bit too quick for him on that AUG. As you said, they managed to clinch it out. 2 players standing, so well, at least allow for them to get the couple of weapons dropped over. I think they could maybe still be left with 1 player on a weaker weapon. I'll have to see. Not sure if maybe one man had enough to just about salvage his own investment, and I think that may have been the case from what I'm seeing with the drop coming in there. So they should be good at least for the weapons here in this round. Obviously, though, everything is being reinvested, and well, the question is, do Vertex have the economy to rebuy? It does indeed look like they do, and they've still actually got a ton left over as well. So Rooster are not out of trouble quite yet. They need to get a couple of rounds in a row here before they really break Vertex down and get themselves any sort of control on the CT side. And well, looks like we're going to see some aggression. Not going to be heavily committing forward with it, but they are taking at least an aggressive stance around this once again. But he's been spotted. I was about to say the shoulder definitely was in the view of Apoc Dud right there. It took a couple of seconds, I think, for him to realize. But eventually the spam comes in, an early advantage for Vertex, and look how they slow it down instantly. And they're actually going to begin to fall back over towards B. This is a very quick call, and to be fair, with the player still aggressive on ramp, it could end up working against them, because this info could be found pretty quickly. They've already got 2 on the bomb site even. But it's going to be a tough hold either way.
I don't know, man. Danger is definitely in the most dangerous position right now. I did not do that on purpose. It's just true. Molotov's coming over the top, though, of course, trying to play around the smoke. Spudwrecker will do so. Danger, here he is, beaking out in 1.5. It's his teammates that are falling a little bit flat, though. Shipka will trade out PZ, but it's a 3 versus 2. Danny G on the flank needs to go huge. And they're sort of half watching for it. They've got a bit of an idea. Brace has got eyes on it, but Danny G is patient, not stepping, not jumping the gun too early. Could pay off. Bomb plant coming in. He'll drop the planter. Now needs quickly dealing with, and they're everywhere, really. The CC's only 2 of them, but spreading their aggression quite wide. Roffelko will take out Danny G, though. Shipka trying to hold on, but it's just not happening, as he will look to back away through the smoke, able to drop one down to the 1-on-1 against Brace. Left guessing, Shipka comes round, and the spray down lands from Brace, able to get it done.
Yeah, it's close, but it doesn't really matter for Vertex. They had the economy. It was Rooster who needed to win it out by all means necessary, and sadly they fall short in that 1v1 in the end. Now are, I believe, going to be left on towards a straight up eco. I don't think it'll be a double eco, at least, because they obviously have lost a few rounds kind of in a row, but just the 1 round breaking it. So maybe some pistols and such should be afforded behind it. And well, yeah, we've even got an op there on the Chelios, which is kind of surprising. It was dropped over by Danny, I'm presuming, although he might have just fully invested anyway. So I'm not sure exactly what way they've worked this out, but it might impact their buy a little bit in this next round unless they're able to get quite a bit done with this. So it's honestly pretty heavy in on it. We'll see what can be found. Danny's boosted up. They'll be looking to try and find that early ramp pick, but in a much more passive fashion than what we'd seen previously. He's not really peeking it, though. We'll see whether this timing works out for him. Molly over it indicates, obviously, that there is a player up close. But again, it's still not being shown as that. Yes, finally does come through. The wall bang destroys them. Shipka goes down. Danny just about survives, but he's not looking very healthy anymore.
Danny investing here is a bit silly as well. It's kind of weird. Left with no moolah.
I'm presuming he dropped the op, maybe. He might have had extra cash.
Yeah, that's a fair point, actually.
and then probably had like 650 or 700 left to buy armor and took a deagle in return from Chelios maybe. That's my presumption, but even then it's still a very hefty investment. I would have preferred they get that up in the next gun round, but we'll see. Maybe he proves us wrong right now. He has a good position.
Yeah. I just think it's kind of dangerous. It is definitely a risk, particularly because Vertex have not fallen to these types of rounds in the past, so they really need to change the way things have been going. Chelios not able... Oh, okay, I was going to say to get any, but he does manage one. Danny G with the deagle, though. Oh, Addict rips his head clean off. That could have been dangerous. Spudwrecker left on 1 HP on the flank. Should be all good. Nade lands, but it's not going to finish that player off. Wrong guy, and PZ takes him down. Nonetheless, costly round, I suppose, for Vertex, but getting towards the end of the game on the T side, it doesn't matter as much. 13-10. And like we've noted, like we've picked up on the Rooster economy, not in a good spot right now. So probably going to be left with kind of rough buy. It's still workable. You still got the AWP out for Chelios, but Danny G, your strongest player, is somewhat neutered.
Yeah, and honestly, you've got to be a little bit heartbroken even that they didn't take that previous round. If I think it was Danger had the deagle, he got himself the first kill, and if he had got the finish on the Addict, who was like 3 health, then suddenly PZ would have been left alone around sandbags. The bomb wouldn't have been down. He would have had to deal with a flanker as well. So that 1 kill, that 3 health is all that kind of separated them from potentially stealing that round away. Obviously they won't be dwelling on it. They will now be fully focused, as you mentioned, on coming into this gun round, and Danny G at least is able to come out with the MP9 despite the severe troubles he had after spending so much in that previous round. Forced to take a little bit of a knock for the team overall, but they've still got a pretty solid buy overall here. I can see the op onto the back of Chelios there at least, which is a pretty nice find to have. Nades are decent. They have a kill. It could be worse for sure. And well, Chelios, he was trying to take some of that early pressure off them, hoping for a pick over towards B. But he ends up receiving a dink instead. His life at least still in the balance for now, but it's not ideal. He's not going to be allowed to show as much aggression, and certainly won't be able to take as much initiative.
Minute and 20 left on the clock. Vertex much slower approach into this one. A couple of players in towards ramp. 3 players hanging outside of B. Napok Dud just going to go swinging through. Trading 1 for 1 though. I guess it's distractionary at this point as they're trying to hit the B-bomb site, although they're a little slow to it. The rotations are in danger. Nearly all 4. Huge damage. 3 versus 2 setup and should be absolutely winnable. Brace with the risky run across the Molotov to come through. Plan and Spudwrecker pushing forwards. Should be able to win the round here. Down these final couple of kills, and he will do so. Rooster come away with number 11. Vertex, a weird bait and switch kind of movement, just completely falls apart.
Yeah, it was a little bit of an awkward one coming through. Trying to get my replays up in time, unfortunately, but I mean, yeah, good nades. You've got to say out to Molly and just kind of left them in a position where they had to plant the either really open or just in behind the kind of double stack box right there, so they weren't given a lot of room to work with. Narrowed down, well played by Rooster, but obviously they need to replicate that performance. It can't be a one and done, and well, it shouldn't be considering they're only up against Tech 9s and a Deagle here in this round, but emphasis on the word shouldn't, I suppose, because it definitely could still go awry. And we'll see pretty soon, especially with this aggression coming in. Once these smokes begin to fade, them Tech 9s could catch the player up close off guard. And if the op doesn't manage to escape after the first one, a trade potentially could be available. And there you go, 8-Bot Dud's already got 1. Trade not going to actually come through, though. So Chelios at least escapes with his life and keeps the numbers equal for now.
Execute coming in from Vertex then. Oh, the early tag onto Roffelco. He will actually manage to drop the AWP though before being traded pretty quickly. The bomb not really making it in here, and now the only player left, in fact, PZ in the 1 versus 3, going to try and outrun them to the B bomb site, or is he? It's all a fate, but they're not immediately rotating all 3 players, right? So he's still going to have to do a bit of work to get into the A site here. Don't think he quite realizes there's a weapon down next to him as well. But either way, the Tech 9, trusty Tech 9, see if he can make it work. Spudwrecker up on the boost. And then, of course, out in the open will be Shipker. Up on the boost, a little bit awkward here. Peasy actually manages to find them both. Hello? That is filth. Danger, meanwhile, miles away from the action. Now he's got an M4 and he's got a 1 versus 1 that he can win.
unlucky timing. Our observer's actually, I believe, timed out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is unfortunate, but
Can't win
PZ
today, mate.
still able to make this work. As we said, tech issues all over the place right now. All good. Louis seems to have us now as he gets onto the observer himself. He's busy with the production, so shout out Louis for the multitasking. Bondo being tapped. Danger does have the kit. Not going to be sticking it immediately though, but PZ obviously not known that initially goes up for the peak, but that may have just worked in his favor. The time now low. It has to be stuck. PZ, can he make it in time? The bullets are not landing, and it's going to be stolen away by Danger. To be fair though, that should have been Rooster's round, so he kind of just saves them in the end right there. Nice try by PZ, able to get all 3 kills out of it in the end. He also gets a bomb plant that really shouldn't have been theirs, so overall a lot of success for Vertex in that round. And Rooster, I think, are still going to need this pause. I'd imagine this is probably even from them, just to calm down for a second maybe. Actually no, I think this might be an actual admin pause as well for the observer to be brought back in. That makes sense. We don't want people watching a wall. That's not very entertaining.
Yeah, we here at DreamHack do you know, care about your observing quality, about your viewership experience. And he's back, so we should be good to go shortly. Very nice indeed. Apologies about that. You know, the PZ double would have been great to catch, but in the end, it doesn't matter too much. So
all I'm gonna say is all of you have timed out of a game of CS at least once, so you can't judge them too much.
Indeed. I don't know. I'm kind of curious here, Rooster. I think the thing is, the main issue you can see now coming into this round is that it costs them massively. No kit. Danger might be able to buy one, but I think that's what they're talking over. He actually goes for the smoke and the flash because they're lacking heavily in utility in general, let alone, you know, the defuse kits. Meanwhile, Vertex, top of the world, mate. They got the bomb plant in the previous. Nice little injection in the cash. PZ's nice and rich after his kills, so Vertex looking very comfortable. A little bit of a fake out of the utility from that CT side, and then go for a late round execute, right? And you'll have no resistance.
Yeah, that will be the aim for sure. I mean, this is... can you even call this having utility? I don't know. They've got very, very little. It's the bare minimum, as all the focus, as you can see, is on that firepower. It's just going to come down to shots being landed, really, in this one. It feels like Scriv, as you said, Vertex will really have freedom to make whatever execute they want happen. Rooster are just going to have to take those challenges. And well, overall, aren't really doing so. Didn't go for any early picks on the ramp to try and kind of negate the fact that they really lack nades, which I thought maybe would be the case, but I guess they've been doing that. They didn't want to make it very predictable. And by the time they do now eventually peek in, you can see Shipka actually is going to be able to snatch himself a kill onto Ruffleco. I had the server off by accident there, but we're good now. I've got it back on, and well, Brace catches the timing on Chelios. Again, haven't abandoned mid for even just a few seconds. They are going to be completely caught off guard. This time, not completely losing the bomb site off the back of it, but it does give an opening back to Vertex. They shouldn't have been here, and APOC pushed in towards A, catches Shipka, and takes a very aggressive stance down to cut off rotations, and he actually manages another before going down. Danny at least ready for the return, but there's nothing that he can do about stopping that actual bomb plant, despite the numbers now equalizing once again.
They're just so far away from the action, right? It's pretty difficult, I think, to get back in here, and we've mentioned the lack of kits. Just play it smart. PZ takes first contact, and Brace on the second, right? You would assume you'd be able to just use the numbers and use the fact that the bomb is planted for you to your advantage. PZ, though, it's a risky one. Can't land the headshot. Tap onto the bomb for Danger. Where's Brace coming from? However, Danger able to get it done, but there's no time. Of course, Rooster, unfortunately, will lose that one by just a hair. And Vertex edging ever closer to nicking away their opponent's map pick here.
It looks like, unfortunately, Chelios is having a bit of a rough game. When I was looking through the stats, he's actually, by far, I believe, with the limited number of maps anyway, I think that they've only played 15 maps so far with this 5-man, but he seems to be by far kind of one of their standout players with a 1.27 rating over those 15 maps, followed by Danger with a 1.09, and also Danny with a 1.09. So it seems like it is slightly unfortunate that he's not having one of those games, because obviously Danny and Danger are both popping off. So if Chelios was even up there around 20 or so, I think they could already be over this finish line. So I've got to say, overall, what this team is able to deliver in terms of the players that they have for the frags, pretty impressive, especially if Chelios joins in with them, as I think he should be, and definitely probably expects himself to do so. I think it's just a bit of a rough map here for him, unfortunately. But again, these pauses are being used, at least. This is something we've been lacking with some of our our qualifier games. Obviously, the likes of Premier teams take that pretty serious, as they would here in this, but so some of the other games we've been doing elsewhere, you don't get many pauses. Teams are just kind of, once you're into the action, you're there. But yeah, there's a bit to work with on the investment for Rooster. Unfortunately, it's not a lot, and if it doesn't work, then they're fighting for an overtime, and I think that's the more likely scenario either way.
Yeah, certainly feels that way. And I think easier said than done. Vertex have looked pretty good in the crunch moments. We've had a few messy, awkward, sort of overthought rounds, I would say, from the T side. When they just bring it back to basics and rely on the execute plus moving in together, team play, you know, it looks pretty damn good in that sense. So we'll see here. That's indeed what they're going for again, at least initially. Nothing as yet really presenting itself, but of course the AWP, always dangerous. Danger. Not quite sure what's happened there. Chelios is just like spamming next to him. I don't really know. Trying to direct him somewhere. I don't know. Nonetheless, yeah, it looks that way. Danger trying to play above the smokes. Not going to happen. And in comes the late boost here. It is somewhat being watched for, but it's definitely a difficult one to deal with. Danger in for the one trade, but it's not quite enough. The bomb's going down. It's a 4-on-3 once the dust settles and once the smokes dissipate. There's nobody left on the A-bomb site itself. So Vertex will just be playing that post plant, and Rooster will let them do so as they will back away and save the weaponry that they brought into this round. Spudwrecker sticking about, trying to find a head, maybe get a rifle on the way out, but the round itself is going to be over.
Yeah, might get a kill though, as you were saying, but no. Brace is happy to kind of stick around on his Mac 10. They're looking for a little bit more. What weapon did PC have? I don't think it's recoverable. He actually looked over right there, unfortunate. Will just get himself literally as far away as possible. Stands on his teammate's head to get an extra centimeter or so over the ledge. I don't think it made much of a difference. He will live with 21 either way, but it's 15 now for Vertex. We expected it. It wasn't the full buy. There was only the op and one rifle in play in that previous round there for Rooster. But it is getting, of course, now towards the final moments. They need to get 3 in a row. They need to send us into an overtime. With this being their map choice, of course, Dust 2 follows, so it's not like it's an impossible map for them to win. It's Dust 2. In theory, anyone should be able to play it. But in the few games they've gotten on record on HLTV, at least, they haven't had a good time on it so far. It's been 16-7 or 16-8 on all 4 of those games. So ideally, they do want to pull this one back to the OT, and let's see if it can be done. If it once again comes true, it doesn't catch them off guard quite as good. They were at least slightly prepped for it, but it doesn't matter. The kills all coming true in favor of Vertex. Denial there on Danger as he gets his head taken off mid-air, and all of the frags are coming true in favor of Vertex.
Well, that is one way to do it, isn't it? Send it in thick and fast, make sure Rooster are on their toes, and they weren't. Severely flat-footed, maybe even a little bit asleep while they were standing. Very strange indeed. They're going to try their best. A bit of a failed Molotov there for the T side. Nonetheless, to the top. In for one, nearly double the AWP, though. Just going to get overwhelmed, and that will be that. 16-12 in favor of Vertex, nicking away their opponent's map pick. We'll see after the break to break it.